Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we have a battle in the Oklahoma, but we're not really going to talk about the battle much. We're going to talk about something else. Specifically, we're going to talk about Will to Rebuild. But before we get into that, it just so happens Oklahoma is in the shop for the first time. Previously, it was the crowning achievement of last year's 4th of July Special Bureau project. If you hadn't started it, then you would not have been able to get it. You can currently head into the shop and pick up Oklahoma for 6,250 doubloons. And in all honesty, I think it is one of the better Tier 4 premium battleships. I wouldn't call it the best, but it is definitely up there. It's solid all around, and she just performs, like a standard American Tier 4 battleship. So, would I buy her because of the way she plays? No. But if you're looking for a Tier 4 battleship to get your weekly promotion winners, I think Oklahoma could serve you fairly well. So, with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the main topic for this video. We are here on Epicenter. Oh, one other side little tangent I'm going to go on. Does anyone else feel like 80% of the time the team that takes the Epicenter first is the one that ends up losing? I feel like the majority of my Epicenter matches, it's whatever team ends up taking the center and is able to capture it first. For some reason, that is the team that seems to always end up losing in the end. I don't know if it's just because that team usually ends up sacrificing ships to get those points capped, and those ships get easy crossfires on them, and the power of crossfire is strong in this game, so therefore they're taking huge hits super early on, and they're just not able to recover from that. I think maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I feel like whenever I play an Epicenter match, it feels like the team that dominates that Epicenter early in the game is the one who ends up not getting the nice bonus at the end of the game. Just something to think about. Okay, we're 2 minutes in, and let's go ahead and talk about what we came here to talk about, and that is what I think is probably universally considered one of the more broken skills in the game, one of the more broken legendary skills, and that's Will to Rebuild. I was on the Hive Hounds podcast the other day, and one of the segments he does on it is like major gripes with the game, and of course, Will to Rebuild came up because I think it really is a bane of many people's existence, or if you're able to use it a lot, it might be one of the joys of your existence. For me, as a solo player, as a majorative solo player, I'll say it's usually more bane than it is a blessing for me. I do feel like Will to Rebuild, because of the way it is, does benefit the division player way more than it usually benefits the solo player. But I mean, that's the way these skills go. So first, let's go talk about what Will to Rebuild does, so that we have a nice baseline understanding of everything that it currently does. So, as a passive skill, or what it gives you no matter what it increases the speed of your heal by 110%, but it reduces the repair duration by 50%. So it does give you, it's not a perfect 10% buff overall. There's math in there that because we're converting different things, it's not exactly a flat 10% health regeneration buff, but it gives you around like 8 to 15% of your heal, improves your heal by like 8 to 15%. So that's a pretty cool perk on its own. Like, stronger overall, hey, you're gonna boost the effectiveness of your heal by a certain percent, and technically you're going to be able to get those heals a lot sooner because the duration of the heal is half as long. So it's going to start its timer of its cooldown timer 50% faster than if you didn't have the skill. So already right there, pretty strong benefit. But what the true benefit, the real reason a lot of people use Will to Rebuild is its special effect. So if you have a friendly ship, I'm going to go from maxed out stats because personally I've maxed out my Sims. So if you have a maxed out 16-4 commander or any legendary 4 commander, you'll get any friendly that's within 3.5 kilometers they are going to heal your ship 0.5% of your health every single second, all the way up to 40%. So or up to 20%, which gives you 40 seconds to go from potentially 1 HP up to 20% of your health, which, let's be clear, is super powerful of an effect on its own. That is the equivalent of like a super heal. It is definitely more effective than a lot of battleships' base heal to have that ability to be able to proc whenever you're within 3.5 kilometers of a friendly. It's not on a cooldown. There's no limit. It's literally, if you're within that range and you're that low on health, good to go. Feel free. You're able to go ahead and get the heals on, which is absolutely crazy. And right here is where I want you to start watching some of the gameplay footage, because we are now officially in Will to Rebuild territory, right? We have less than 20% of our ship's health remaining, and we are going to be suckling on the teat of Will to Rebuild for the remainder of this game. And watch as we, still are able to remain incredibly combat effective when really we have no business being able to still be kind of where we are. I think we'll be able to agree on that by the end of this match. So what can we do to balance Will to Rebuild? Because personally, as a solo player, I feel like it is one of the most annoying things out there. It definitely does benefit like Division players, and I know to all the Division players out there, you're like, well, Tommy, come on, just make friends, come play with us. And I'm like, I'm good. And by that I mean, honestly, I'm not a huge social person, and the majority of the reason why I enjoy playing World of Warships Legends is because it's a game that I can turn off one half of my brain while playing. I can put on YouTube and enjoy watching YouTube while having something else to do. Like, it's the equivalent of a truck simulator for a lot of people. It's a podcast game to me, and that's why I absolutely love playing it. But I don't want to interact with people while playing it. Anyways, I think with divisions, you see it a lot, especially when you get like double battleship divisions, and it's something that definitely has a little bit more effect up at the higher tiers as well. Right, when you're down at these lower tiers, 20% of a ship's health isn't a ton, right? If there's superior positioning, or even some concentrated fire, you can easily lose the majority of your Will to Rebuild health fairly quickly. But when you're up at the higher tiers, just the amount of health that you can recover could be a fairly substantial amount of health that some ships just can't outdo, right? Let's go the extreme example of a Grosse Kernfest, right? 100,000 HP. That is 20,000 damage. Where we are right now, a clever destroyer could pop a smoke screen and easily start some fires and to burn us down to the ground. I believe it's one fire, you're still able to outdamage. 2 fires begins to tick you down when you have Will to Rebuild active. Now, some other things that could help or hurt, generally you're then going to be, if you are that destroyer, you're going to have to then also pair that with your Alpha Strike damage, because of course fire damage is a percentage-based game as well. But I feel like you're going to have a more effect. Your Alpha Strike is going to be have a greater potential at these lower tiers than when you get into the higher tiers. And then we have to talk about damage saturation, because if you look, our ship is fairly damaged all over thanks to Will to Rebuild, and we are still able to dish out the damage. That's the other thing. Will to Rebuild doesn't bring back damage saturation, which I kind of feel like it could do, and that way some weaker guns, the weaker ships, your superstructure, could get more health in it for it to be farmed, especially because it's coming back. So how would I propose we fix Will to Rebuild? I don't know. I put forward the idea of maybe limiting the amount of total health recovered to 50% of the ship. That's kind of where I'm at. But guys, that's the match right there. Like I said, I don't think I should have won that, but Will to Rebuild carried me through. What are your thoughts on Will to Rebuild? let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.